Hello, everybody. It is Saturday. Is your week over or has it just begun? Let's find out tonight on Numbed Wasteland.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Glad to have you. Yep, we're here.
I hope everything's running a little smoother out there. I shut a few things down. I had an update. The update messed with a few things. I thought I had everything fixed, and then I noticed the lag was worse than before, so obviously something else was reset. I don't know where it is. I have to figure it out. As soon as I do, I'll get that under control.
Did you paste the link in your Discord?
I did not. I also apparently screwed up the chat up here on my setup tonight.
Are my volumes okay?
Your volumes are okay. I apparently don't know where to put you. Here, we'll put you right there. We're moving the hand around the screen.
I'm easy. Put me anywhere.
So, it's been a weird... Oh, I am redlined. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, no.
This did this to me the other night, too, and it was a mess. We'll see how this goes. I missed Wednesday and Friday. Let's put it out there. I just partly needed to walk away from my computer. I will reiterate there's going to be a pause. I want to say Tuesday or Wednesday next week. There won't be content for a week or two.
Congratulate Num. He possibly he's got 99% chance of a job.
Yeah, as soon as the guy gets my background check, which he knows everything, I told him everything that's going to come up on it. As soon as he gets that back to put in the paperwork, he can finish the rest of it and hire me. So I should get a call in 2 or 3 days.
Let's say hi to the chat. Chadwick
we have
Dupree.
Quite a chat here tonight. We have Wiki
Chadwick
Snow, we
Dupree.
have TA, we have Sora, we have Not Suitable for Mum. Hello, Jason. We have... Who else has joined us? Midnight Raven. Hello. And
Chadwick Dupree, Wiki Snow?
Yeah, we said Wiki first. He was first here. What up, man? How is everybody doing tonight, this week, whether it's over or just beginning? I have to say, it feels like the week just ended and everything came in, and as soon as it all came in, it's like, oh, wait, where did it all go? The week, okay, gotta start over. So it feels like the week ended, but it ended on a, hey, it's over, but hey, keep going because you're not there yet.
Yeah, no, I think, wait a second. Is Saturday the beginning of the week or the end of the week?
See, that's an interesting thing. I tried to do the pun like week over, game over kind of thing, but you have to wonder, for some people Saturday is just the beginning, or Saturday is maybe the interim, because I'm not sure. I may be working Sunday through Thursday because it's an evening job to prep for the following business day.
Yeah,
I may be working I don't know what I'm going to be doing yet.
On the calendar, it's Sunday is the first day, even though Monday is kind of the first day of the work week.
Right, and Sunday is named after the sun, and Saturday is named after the god of Saturn. Right. I said that wrong. Everybody sort of knows what I'm talking about.
March is named after Mars.
Yes. Interesting. what is it? I figured
Hey,
it out.
Red. Welcome.
Sunday is the day of the sun. Monday is the day of the moon. Tuesday is a god of something. Wednesday, same thing. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There was 5 gods that the calendar was named for, and Sunday and Monday for the moon. I forget how it all went. I read it a couple months ago. I think I've forgotten more information than I remember at this point. I've gone through so much sometimes.
Yeah, that's the case. Actually, we're limited in our bandwidth and our storage capacity.
Yes,
So
welcome, Red.
we start dropping stuff that's not necessary.
I don't know why. I should have been watching other videos that people have linked to me and I haven't watched yet. But I click on this video this morning and it was a 3-hour video. I thought I'll explore something new. Sorry about that, guys. I need to grab a soda. I'll explore something new and different and see where it leads me. Because I need a good idea.
So what's the new and different video?
I got to the end of it and I went, this is not what I need to do tonight. And
so it wasn't new and interesting?
It was new. It was interesting. It was laughable.
Oh.
So apparently word genus 563 or something, and we're going to evolve into category 6-1.
Penis in your pants.
All right. So
let's see. A little bit of news. I don't know if anybody knows, but we've gone over Q stuff, and the mainstream media is all about Q being this stupid LARP, and it's ridiculous, and anybody who believes it is an idiot. And of course, it's so damn important that for some reason the where is it, 4chan or 8chan, whatever, they
both
deleted all the threads except for the Q thread. In other words, all the threads where people are investigating it and talking about it, over 200,000 people, those are the threads they deleted, but they left the Q thread. Interesting. I mean, hey, if it's a LARP, what are we cleaning the internet now? You can't even LARP on the internet?
No, here's a fair question. With everything going on.
Imagine things?
With everything going on, Data, let me bounce this off of you. If we can ban from the internet, from every site associated with the internet, and slowly dwindle down his ability to expose himself to people, fun pun, then label that all as a conspiracy. What leap is it to take to go, well, you're talking about the moon being a hollow space base, that's a conspiracy, you're no longer allowed on the internet. You're talking about aliens, that's a conspiracy, you're not allowed on the internet. Oh, you're talking about the population of the number of people of the Jewish or Israelite community before the Israelites were there.
If you don't believe it, then that 9/11 wasn't exactly the way the government told us it was. That's a conspiracy too, so you don't belong on the internet.
Did you watch my Thermate video that I sent you, Data?
Yes.
Okay. I usually watch most of what you send me. Yeah, I just haven't watched this long one. The Thermate video was very interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah. It definitely was. It definitely proved the fact that it can be done.
And it proved it could be done with weird accuracy without a lot of real thought to it. If you have somebody manufacture a few dozen of those and then drop them in the thing and...
Hey.
Oh, as soon as it heats up to a certain temperature, it'll ignite, and then this will ignite, and it'll cut through steel. And wow, that makes weird sense. You don't question things during the disaster. I hate to tangent on 9/11 for a moment, and I'm sorry, chat, if I'm ignoring you as I go, but You don't look at 9/11 as it's happening or in the follow-up and look up at the windows and realize there's molten steel melting at much lower than necessary temperatures with the jet fuel burning. Even with a special air conduit, if the bottom of the building had broken out and the air had flown through that building like a chimney, there's still no way the jet fuel would have heated up to the point where it needed to melt the steel in the building.
I don't know if you know this, but that building was actually airtight. In other words, literally sealed floor by floor by floor. Matter of fact, that building was so airtight it actually brought in oxygen.
I'm interning for the Grim Reaper. Thank you, Denny Crane. How are you doing tonight? I never looked at what the possibilities were or what actually happened or in what order. And when you sit and look at this, now mind you, you all know YouTube. Once you click on and or watch a video, there's going to be follow-up videos. You're going to continue to get a list of things that vary from what you're looking at. So even though we did 9/11 how long ago? 3-4 months ago? It was before Numbed Wasteland. It was, wasn't it?
We barely scratched the surface. Matter of fact,
we barely scratched it.
It was 9/11 that kind of brought you and I together.
Yeah, we started chatting about that. We did a live stream together, and I started thinking, okay, we both started thinking. We put something together. It took us a little while, and here we go. That's this show. 9/11 is way more complex than I thought it was, and I've been to the site.
Oh, yeah.
I watched the whole thing happen live. I've watched video. I did reports on what happened, and I've still learned so much new stuff.
The craziest thing about 9/11 is no matter where you look, literally, no matter where you look, there's questions. I mean, hell, the recording of the black box that hit the Pentagon. Did you know that on the recording where they show it, they don't have the proper altitude dialed in?
Okay.
In other words, when an airplane takes off, not every landing strip or airport is at the exact altitude. In other words, this one may be 36 feet above sea level. That one may be 110. The one in Denver is a mile high.
What's 9 divided by 11? Isn't it like 1.3 something? I don't know the significance of that. The weird instances were how and what happened, where they were trained, where they got in. Mind you, some of this information has fallen off over the years from when I looked at it.
The hijackers? Well, how do you explain half the hijackers being alive after the case?
I don't know. I haven't looked into it that deep, and again, that's where that becomes a problem. But back to the point. Hold on.
Okay.
Back to the point I was making, though. At the arena in which showing pictures and memes and laughing or talking about referenced material is becoming bad, and talking about or associating yourself with conspiracies is bad. Mm-hmm. What is the life of free information?
What is free information?
The ability to access a variety of information. For instance, when I go through my daily routine, I almost daily watch TYT. I don't know why. They have horrible content. It's very biased. It's often inaccurate on certain things, and it's more opinion than news. However, I do like to find themselves contradicting their own statements and then chat in the comments below on those contradictions or bring up statistics and facts that people just literally reply with, You don't know what you're talking about. And I go back, you're right, I'm only on page 220 of 440. Any questions I can try to answer for you? Or something stupid like that? Because
What?
I'm literally trying to read up on this, and people that are commenting against me are like, you're an idiot. No, I'm a numbskull. But
It's
wait, I
always
got my sound
always
effects
the
open.
case. It's always the case, man. And you know, poor Alex Jones. He's even had to listen. I remember Alex Jones talking about that school shooting, and he's even had to double back on what he was saying. And frankly, he shouldn't have to, because yeah, it was a tragedy, but if we're not allowed to ask questions, relevant questions, if we see shit on video that is just majorly odd, um, why aren't we allowed to ask questions?
Absolutely should ask questions. And yes, Red, there is. Oh, it just spun away from me real quick. But Denny had a saying in here: if you don't have dollars, then you don't have a chenk. If you don't have dollars, then you don't have a chenk. When I read that the first time, it reminded me of a motto I used to say, which is funny, but stupid. I worked in grocery for a long time, and I always tell people, I was like, if you want to make dollars, you don't have to worry about making sense.
Yeah, there's an old German saying that says, if you don't honor a penny, you don't give a shit about, you don't care about a dollar. If ein Pfennig dich nicht ehrt, ein Dollar ist nicht wert. Or if you don't honor a penny, a dollar is worth nothing, is worthless.
Very, that makes sense too. What do we got? People say Alex Jones likes trannies. I've never seen a video of Alex Jones sucking a ding dong. It doesn't matter. You
Now,
can watch whatever videos you want. I would, however, I don't know if you guys notice this about me, but I try to cut out my tabs and my bookmarks and my URL and my start menu and my icon bar. I cut that all out when and where and however possible, because it's none of your business. I'm smart enough not to show you that whenever I can avoid it. Why he had that on his phone when he went live? Was he beforehand explained something about it, or was he checking it out? Or did somebody say, oh, by the way, Alex, this looks like you. You should check this video out, as a prank or a joke, and he just happened to have it open? You ever opened a site and then gone, oh, that is nothing, nope, and then gone to get out of it in a phone and just gotten out of it but not realized it was open in that menu bar? I periodically, daily, clean my menu bar out. You never know what kind of crap lingers around on a phone. But
never, when you're going to lose your phone, right?
yeah, but that's off topic. I worry about, and comments have been made to me when I talk about this show and explain to people that I don't try to align with conspiracies. That's not at all what we do here. What we do is we bring up conspiracies. So, what differs us from Alex Jones?
I mean, I'm so tired of even people using that word. I mean,
Alex Jones?
why is conspiracy anathema?
All right, so we need a new term for
I'm
what
just
this
saying,
is going to
if you
be.
have two people that want to rob a store, that's a conspiracy. Conspiracies are all over. Okay? I mean, you had DuPont buy Teflon from 3M. 3M told DuPont, this Teflon shit is like the first circle of hell. It'll kill people. Just be forewarned. Okay? What did DuPont do? Dump the shit in the river. So, I mean, is that a conspiracy?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look into it more.
No, I
I
mean,
get. Wait, the weird
those
thing is though,
facts.
a conspiracy would be anything where there's two sides of the story and one side won and won't let the other side
No,
out.
no. A conspiracy is when you have more than one person dedicated to doing something illegal or immoral. That's a conspiracy.
So
In other
hiding
words,
information, would that be immoral? Would that be conspiring?
sure, and so would killing John F. Kennedy. It wasn't a conspiracy. You know why? Because supposedly there was only one guy. We know that's wrong.
So if we're hiding information and that's a conspiracy, then the president releasing information makes it no longer a conspiracy. So now we have to look back at the
No,
Democrats at them conspiring.
because no, the conspiracy was the hiding. In other words, okay, let's say the CIA and the NSA get into something where they want to spy on Trump. So they buy a report that says Trump hired hookers in a hotel room and had them piss on the bed that Obama slept in. Okay? Now this report gets leaked all over the already this is a conspiracy. Even if it's found wrong, even if it's a lie, even if it didn't go anywhere, the conspiracy already was there because CIA got together with the NSA and they made a plan to do this. And they did that. That's the conspiracy. To conspire.
Okay, so then I'm going in all sorts of different directions. I know. I'm sorry, guys, but this has been rolling in my mind this week. Comments have been made to me that make me think. I love doing this show. This show's probably going to stay on. I just don't know if it's going to stay on this night or how we're going to work it. But to carry on, I think we need to kind of think about the topic that we're in and what's going to happen as we go down the rabbit hole for these topics, because we're going to end up circling back around to all the topics we've done already, and it's going to start happening rather soon, because not that we're going to run out of topics, but we never cover enough on these, and more information continues to come to my purview, again, because of YouTube. So I always want to look at new information, but it's about gathering enough to make it worth, all right, the first hour was a nice introduction, but if we're going to go over more, then we've got to cover the introduction in like 5 minutes, and then we've got to blow your mind with information.
Well, I mean, even then, it like the subject of 9/11, that would take probably 5 1 hour or 1 hour plus shows, and even then, we wouldn't cover everything.
I don't know. Hold on. I think last week, granted, I'm sorry, guys, I didn't put a whole lot of time into today's show. I did put time in, just not as much as last week. Last week, I put in some major effort last week. If I do, I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I don't have a horn noise on here, do I? Is that me cutting out or you?
Nobody's cutting out. I was going to toot.
Oh, toot my own horn. Well, I'm just saying, I covered, I think, 11 or 12 different stories of time travel. Out of how many hundreds? There's no way we could ever potentially cover any story completely thoroughly, even with hours of episodes. We can give it a fair attempt and cover the most known phenomenon that people might want to go after, including more that you don't know about to entice you to look more into it yourself, and then you find more.
With the physics and experimentation of, or
I'd hate to trail backwards. I'm just gonna do it anyways, guys. I'm gonna go all over the place. I'm gonna look at the chat here in a minute, but I was watching a video this morning, and I don't know what drew me to click on it. It was 3 hours long.
What did it say? What was the title?
I will look. I will look just so that I can answer that question accurately. And after that video, I was like, this is why I needed a break from YouTube. The planet aligned with the 35th chakra, and this allowed for the goddesses and gods who walked the earth, who were much larger than us because of the time, and they walked with the dinosaurs, not the dinosaurs walking with man, and Christians have it all wrong, and this and that. And I was like, wait, back up. Were you just talking about circles of embodiment? And
Okay.
I was... You know what I'm talking about?
There is a lot of New Age religion out there. I mean,
this is philosophical origins of humanity, and I'm what?
It's tickling those things, but it's more New Age religion.
Okay, if you insist, where is this?
When you say chakra, it's a New Age religion.
It wasn't chakra. The word was probably used once. And I lost myself. The Hidden History of Humanity by Monadic Media. It's got 3.9 million views. It's 2 hours and 37 minutes and 53 seconds long.
Okay.
And... I forget where I was where I started hearing the crazy shit. Pardon, this is on a separate...
doubt that advanced beings have always assisted humanity. From the first Kumaras of ancient Lemurian times, who taught building and agriculture, to the Kabiri.
These are flying angels they're showing me, and I'm just...
To seed another impulse for the next cycle.
For the next cycle? We can relate the weather patterns. And
can I ask you a question? This is kind of a fact. What date was that? Uploaded?
Hold on. August 18th, 2017.
Okay.
And I've seen other movies where people think that there's spiritual or some sort of analytical way to look at this that embodies a higher power that's overlooking or a destination. And when you start talking about gods that left because they were tired of our shit, then I'm just like, what?
Have you ever heard of Zeitgeist?
I don't know. Maybe.
If you look up Zeitgeist for videos, Zeitgeist in the title, you might find some interesting videos regarding religion and the basis of religion and where it all seems to have come from.
There was a little bit in there about Abrahamic religions and how they developed in the Ark and the flooding, which actually happened, and how we had knowledge because we used to live longer and be larger.
The Zeitgeist is more all the religions are basically based on space and the stars and the sun. Matter of fact, the reason you say the Son of God, it is literally the sun, not the burning a star that's in the sky. If you look at the Zeitgeists, that's sort of what they're aligning to. But it's funny you should mention, Lumerium or what the hell? What was it again?
I don't know.
It was the original
angels in space.
Well, no, the original continent, Lemuria.
Oh, I didn't mention it. It was in the video, but yeah, there's many mentions of how there was many different continents, and the Earth keeps being reborn in and of itself, so that it's older than it seems to be.
The video,
which has a little sensical, a little sensical. Now I'm nonsensical. It has a little sense in it, but
I ran across a 4-hour video, a 4.5-hour video. It was it was literally a written, what's it called? When you have a interview and it's all written down, questions and answers. What's it called?
You're asking a numbskull here. What are you
Come
talking about?
on, you know the word. Let's ask chat. In other words, a transcript.
Transcript.
It is
Scripted.
literally a video of the transcript of the surviving alien from the crash at Roswell, and it's a very long video, but it gets really great at the end because he won't answer questions that the suits are giving him, but after researching and learning English and asking for stacks and stacks of books and reading them and basically learning all of there is to know about humankind, he basically announces he's going to make a statement, and he hopes that this statement will help humankind out. And basically, it starts off with, what his society is, what his society was doing. In other words, his society basically owns this section of real estate in space. In other words, Earth is theirs, and they came down initially because we're playing with fire when it comes to nuclear bombs, and as even though that this Earth is way out on the edges of the galaxy, kind of in podunk hillbilly town, and even though no real civilization could ever live on this Earth because of the asteroids and earthquakes and volcanoes and
Do you want to know what the
ice
true
ages.
test would be? This would be the true test. If we wanted an answer to that question, we need to send two nuclear weapons the size of the ones launched in the 40s, Big Boy and...
Why? Those are small compared to those.
All right.
Launched.
What we need to do is launch those to a neighboring local planet and see what the impact is. See how it registers, how it reads, and then launch at the same time a few to a planet a little farther away that we basically know that there's no life on, and read how it looks. Then we get an idea of reading the distance and the measurement of it, right?
It's funny you should mention that because there are some stories that say that when we put a base on Mars in the 60s, one of the tasks was to blow a nuke on the pole to melt the ice cap and jumpstart a atmosphere.
And that's been measured at the size of the nuclear weapon or explosion that would have to go off.
It's funny you should mention that. And the other thing is that in studying the soil samples and atmospheric samples, there is traces of a nuclear bomb in the atmosphere. So there is a little evidence to support that
there's evidence of nuclear energy being created or used on the moon.
I don't know. Surface. Is there?
Yeah, there's been results from moon dirt or moon rocks that were brought back that showed trace elements of nuclear compounds that are created from expulsions of nuclear laboratories that are found in atmospheres around nuclear laboratories. That's only created during a certain type of nuclear breakdown, and that it shouldn't be found on the moon.
Like tritium and stuff like that.
Right. Well, I can't remember the names of them. It's too technical for me. I'm sorry.
No problem. I mean, if the moon was made from Earth, then wouldn't there be a little bit of everything on the moon?
Well, that all depends. Did we have nuclear reactors back when the asteroid or comet or other planet smashed into the Earth, creating...
Well, you know that you can have a natural nuclear reactor.
Here's another fair question, and we talk about the age of the Earth, and again, let's let's branch off on a tangent here. We talk about the age of the Earth, and we talk about an explosion that happened a little over 5 million years ago, and a mysterious 10th planet gravitational pull, and all this other stuff. And you have to wonder, obviously it's stated sometimes, but how much do we not know? This always goes to how I think. What is there that I don't know? What is there that's influencing on the environment or the thing that I'm thinking of that I don't know?
I think I think what we don't know could probably fill our brains 20 times over.
I mean, I've seriously forgotten stuff because it's just, I don't remember band names or years that music came out. But I remember this weird statistic about an 8-inch dildo from 23,000 years ago. That just sticks out in my head. Maybe Bob Seger in the Silver Bullet Band.
Well, that's
old time rock and roll.
That's the name of a 20,000-year-old dildo.
No, but it's a song that I remember. Like, stupid things that stick out in my memory for no good reason whatsoever.
I hear you.
But it's interesting. I like to think that there's more out there. However, why haven't we explored it? Space Force is a great idea, but it's also a horrible idea.
Let's look inward. What about reincarnation?
Ooh, okay. Let's offer you a fair, complex thought on reincarnation. I'm so sorry, chat. I feel like you're being neglected. I'm reading. Just so you know, I'm reading. I'm just not responding.
I mean, I'm just asking. Have you seen any of those?
So think about it this way. Hold on. Think way back, before there was potential life on the planet, and think about the number of potential species times the number of potential items within that species, and then think about where we are today, and just our human population versus potential of other mammals. Think about cataclysmic events. Think about people versus living versus dead. If you look at reincarnation, where does the beginning of this string come from? Where does the first being that is reincarnated come from? And then how do you define reincarnation?
Okay, but
how
let me
ask you. Okay,
you're asking the relevant questions. Have you ever seen the videos of the kids? We're talking 7, 8, 9, 10 years old that literally remember past lives to the point where they have so much detail they can actually name, let's say they were in World War II as a bomber pilot, and they can name everybody on their crew, and when mom looked it up, she found those names on a bomber's crew.
Doku HL just put a question in the chat that I believe.
Here's a fun question for all of you.
Night. Hold on. Here's a question. Yeah, you got it.
Do you think a dimension beyond our own perception can exist in the same space? Well, I think, isn't that the whole point of multiple dimensions? They exist in the same space. They're just vibrationally different.
According to John Tidor, in order to travel back in time, you have to travel back in time to a new dimension, meaning that somebody in each dimension at the same time will be traveling back in time to a new dimension.
Stop! Always confuse time and dimension. Listen, a cat and a dog, they can see beyond what we can see. They can hear beyond what we can hear. If there is something in a other dimension that is, let's say, at those frequencies of light and sound, those cats and dogs can see those things when we can't. That's another dimension.
Sixth sense.
And then if you take it further, where, let's say, all matter is vibrationally different at a different frequency, then you can literally be completely in another Earth with other people, maybe exactly like us, maybe slightly different. Maybe we chose one thing when the other dimension chose another thing, and we're the same person, but maybe we're living large, or have a big family as opposed to being single, or whatever.
Grandpa, it's okay. Cross into the light. It's a multi-dimensional interspatial portal. It'll take you to where you want to go.
That surviving alien said that we were all Isbies. In other words, we lived forever. We not only lived forever, but we live without a body. We live as a pure spirit. We literally be, and we are. We is be, and we can jump from. In other words, we can. You've heard of an out of body experience. That's when
Yeah.
your spirit is floating above you, and you look down and you see yourself.
I
Uh,
do have to admit, let's bring this to reality a bit. In thinking about mortality, which honestly you guys have to know, if thoughts cross my mind like all of these and I process this kind of information, mortality is, as the more you learn, the more you become a speck that doesn't exist. You're a error of grain in a piece of paper in a book that's so big you're never going to read through it. So
exactly,
just remember
or
that.
astral projection. In other words, we literally are creatures of astral projection. We can create our reality with our minds.
Okay, so with me saying that, I also have to agree that with all of the theories of energy and whatever else, but the theories of energy where we are creating and moving certain amounts of energy, the science behind it, when we die, we're no longer consuming energy to be able to exist. However, our body begins to consume itself, which is in itself energy, or able to be consumed, which is itself energy. So, to believe that there's a lasting energy
I thought the
makes it
whole
more difficult the more
I
you
thought
learn.
I thought the principle of energy was energy could not be created or destroyed. It could
Okay, it
only be
cannot be created or destroyed,
transformed.
but you have potential, and you have crap. What's the other word? You
If
have
you lift,
potential
okay,
energy.
if you lift a 1 pound block up, you are using energy to lift that 1 pound block up. That 1 pound block is now up. It has potential energy. If you release that, and it falls down,
Okay,
you
and
haven't
when you
destroyed
die,
you.
you
Yeah.
have potential energy as food.
Well, what about the electrical energy? What about our souls? What about our
It's a
brain?
fair question.
I'm just
Show me
saying.
data or measurements. I've tried to look at it and trying to be very analytical about it. Somebody earlier told me that I'm
There's
one of those
there's
people that think my point
matter.
of view is right.
There's matter, and then there's energy.
Okay, however, we create the energy by the burning of the calories in our body. So if we stop burning calories, we can no longer create energy. The energy isn't an energy that sits and sustains us. I don't care if the guy with the white beard says he hasn't eaten since he was 7 years old or 9 years old or
But
whatever.
that's only to
That
sustain the body.
okay. Science.
What about
Let's look at this mathematically, though. Hold on. The energy has to go somewhere. Where did the energy come from? You created the energy by eating something. Okay, you ate
okay?
something, you create energy. When you die, you get eaten. You create energy.
Okay, when you die, you become a ghost. That ghost energy, how is it created? How is it sustaining itself?
Are you sure?
Am I sure of what?
Ghosts. Are
Well,
we
okay.
going down this road?
Say,
Ladies and gentlemen,
okay,
welcome to Saturday night
okay.
on the Numbed
Let's not
Wasteland.
say ghost. Let's say spirit. Let's say your
Phantom
soul.
electro energy.
What about your soul?
I put my soul into it. Do you
What
have
about
a
your soul?
soul?
Yeah.
Okay, how about this? How about, theoretically, we are an anomaly. Our ability to think on the level that we think is an anomaly
How do you know?
that can be accounted for mathematically with very, very high error results.
What about dolphins? What about
Okay,
whales? Maybe they're
can
smarter
they
than we
learn
are.
English? Can we
Hey,
learn dolphin? Are we really that smart then? You're
here,
just going to teach me that I'm stupider than I think I am. Can we
let me
learn dolphin? I want to speak in dolphin.
let me ask you this. Let's
My
say
wife would love that.
what's it called? Reincarnation is true. And let's say, God forbid, you should pass away and your spirit leaves your body and you go somewhere and then you get recycled and you come back and you go into a tree.
Do you know how things get recycled? They
I'm,
get
I'm
shredded and melted and,
maybe, maybe not. So anyways, you go into a little sapling, okay? And you can't talk. And as you know, trees live a very long life. Some trees can live 1,000 years. Well, if you live 1,000 years, us buzzing around, you probably wouldn't even notice, right?
Speaking dolphin, ask the Nigerians. Click, 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 pop, click.
I mean, if you if your life is like decades, if a decade is like a week to you, people walking around you, you wouldn't even see,
That's
right?
interesting perspective of the passage of time across interspecies and plant. Would plant be a species? Yeah, I guess plant's a species.
It's a living organism, and
So,
so you don't talk, you breathe, you feel the sun, you grow, you have seeds, you grow others, and another generation, and eventually you wither and die, but only after, if you're a big sequoia, only after 1,200 years. And that life cycle, you've watched everything from castles to 747s.
well, only if you were big enough to see them.
Right.
That's. Oh, I have to say, it's a fair point. And I don't want to link the video I watched. Go find weird, creepy stuff like me to watch on other days, guys.
There's
It's.
there's a lot of creepy you've heard of creepy pasta,
I've
right?
heard of creepy pasta. I avoid creepy pasta.
They're they're
Not that
they're
it's creepy. Some of it's just really stupid.
yeah.
But it's a craze. I guess people are doing it. Hey,
Well, I mean,
have fun with your weird stories.
they're writing short stories for like TV shows.
I want to know more about the truth of what happened and potential for realistic abilities. And I believe that we had what some people refer to as a higher technology. I tend to be semi skeptical about where and how we got the higher technology.
I'm reading the chat.
Fuck trees. No, I don't
uh,
recommend it. There's probably a law against
I
it.
must be a tree. I get wood every morning. Trees want
Oh,
to shit show humans. Fuck trees. Danny, that could be dangerous. End up with splinters. A
oh, I
blow
missed
a
some of that.
blow seed everywhere. Ouch. Gamble away thousands. Anyway,
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know
So
what the point of tonight was. I didn't have a topic. I didn't research. I watched this 3 hour video and my mind, I'm listening to this and glancing at the screen while I'm doing other things and I'm just like,
did you ever
wow.
did you ever see that short called what is it? What the hell is it called? Mathematics and Nature. No, Nature by Numbers.
Are we going to talk about the golden ratio?
Oh, you've seen it. Okay. It's a cute short. Okay.
I'm pretty sure I've seen it. I'm not, yeah, but the golden ratio, the mathematics and numbers in nature, it's a weird analogy in certain plants, how the stem length of the plant has to grow a certain length before the new leaf grows, and new leaves grow at certain increments from the length of the leaf to the dimension of the width based on, there's all sorts of weird, cool things.
Yeah, this has a kind of a catchy tune, and it's pretty much a computer-generated graphic video.
If you sit and look at enough information, you're going to start to see something. And I even see this. I lean away from it being cognitively aware of what you're going to run into, and I don't know why I am. I'm not that college educated or anything. But being cognitively aware of what I could run into, I avoid certain traps. When you read through information on certain subjects, if you come across a lot of information or a repeat of a certain thing that you set into your mind, you start to believe that information could be the truest part of the information. And the more often you run across it, the more true it seems to be.
I gave you a link if you want to play it. It's a short video, but it's up to you.
I can't. Where I am with the things that I shut down to try and get rid of that red bar at the beginning, it looks like a checkered board with things out of place on one screen.
Oh, you can't do it in the Hangout?
Oh, in there. Oh, look at that. In that window.
Would it show in the Hangout?
I'm not using Google. If anybody wonders.
What if I played it and you clicked on me? Could you show that?
No, I absolutely can't right now.
Okay.
That I'm not even set up for that.
Okay, no problem.
But let's see if I can play the audio for everybody. If I have stuff like this data, I gotta know ahead so I can set the whole computer up to do different scenarios.
Right. Okay.
So last week took effort to set that up. This week I was just like, this might be my vacation before the bust my ass, because if the guy says work 50 hours, I'm working 50 hours.
Right. Well, I hope it works out, and I hope you make lots of money.
Oh, me too. Because I'm running out of ideas for cheap dinners.
Yeah. There's only so many ways you can cook a potato.
Yeah, there's only so many times you can cut it up and divide it into different meals. I went to make something today. So, I went to make pizza. I have yeast. I have these meatballs. I have mozzarella. I reach in the cabinet. I have no flour. And the meatballs are sitting there cooking. And they're pre-made meatballs, mind you. Not hamburger meat. Well, they're supposed to be, but no, they're pre-made. They taste almost like hot dogs, so let's not go there. They were a cheap alternative I threw in my freezer a couple weeks ago when they were on sale. So, I'm cooking these up and I'm thinking to myself, well, crap, I'm going to get into spaghetti. Crap, I don't have any sauce. Oh, look, I have this 10-pound can of diced tomatoes. Hold on.
By the way, if you didn't have flour, you know what you can use instead of flour? Breadcrumbs.
Oh, yeah, I don't have any breadcrumbs either. I use those up, too. So, I have this, 10-pound can of diced tomatoes. My aunt and uncle brought me some food. They're like, here, we don't eat this, so
you're
just
running
in case.
Out of breadcrumbs, you can take stale bread and put it in a coffee grinder.
I have one slice of bread left. Hold on. So I'm I'm bound and determined to make this dinner without doing anything else, leaving with the last $1 or $2 in change. And I look in the cabinet and I've got packets of tomato sauce mix. And I've got this 10-pound can of diced tomatoes. So I just opened that can up, threw it in the pot, threw in 4 pouches of sauce mix, and just tried to crush up those diced tomatoes the best I could. But that was the worst can of diced tomatoes I've ever seen. They weren't dices. They were like huge, solid chunks of tomato.
10 pounds. Jeez, that was one hell of a can.
So I decided to take out the meatballs a few sections at a time, and I cut them down into smaller pieces of meat and put them back in the pan and take out more meatballs. So get them all cut up. I poured that all into the sauce.
Right, you made meat sauce.
So I'll grab a thing of spaghetti out of the cabinet. Oh shit, I'm out of spaghetti. Do we want fettuccine or do we want macaroni?
Christ. Well, the fettuccine will work.
Everybody wanted macaroni, so I made like goulash, which is like macaroni sauce and usually a vegetable. And
actually, a goulash is usually egg noodles and beef and onion.
I don't have that either. I have a big pot full of this weirdly good, kind of fucked up dinner.
Well, I mean, you made something. Work. Noodles too, so you know.
Well, I have ideas for other nights, but it's like, all right, well, we had this the other day. We had this 2 days ago. We want something different. I'll come up with something. I'll do pizza. Shit, no flour. I already started cooking and I have no flour. What do? Improvise. Keep fucking improvising till the meal is nothing like what you were originally gonna make.
By the way, I heard of a great recipe for pizza dough. Self-rising flour and yogurt.
Yes.
Only two items. Mix those two together. It's a hell of an amazing pizza dough.
Has anybody ever seen that movie Overboard with Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell? And
yeah, that's a classic.
Okay.
They remade it.
Do you remember about halfway, maybe 3/4 into the movie, maybe not even that, maybe it's even earlier in the movie, he's at the stove stirring that... No. He's at the stove stirring that big pot. And the kids go, "What's for dinner?" He goes, "Rich surprise." The kid goes, "What's in it?" He goes, "It's a surprise." I didn't have any Ritz, but that's about what my dinner was right there. Oh, yes, that is a classic movie.
That's a great movie.
I think I have worn out my welcome with my crowd today. If not, I feel like I have. Because for going for an hour or more, it just feels like nobody's going to care to come back. And I want y'all to come back. I don't know when. I don't know where. And I don't know for how long. But I want you all to come back. But we are going to have to wind this down. We are at the end. Let me play this little... No, the clip you gave me is 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, I already pasted it in chat, so if they are interested in watching it, they can watch it.
All right, I'll leave it on.
I'll paste it again if you want.
All right. What else do we have to say to these folks tonight? I don't mean to ignore you guys. 25-kilogram bag of spaghetti. American chop suey. Diced tomatoes with rice. Mexican rice. Ooh. I think I'm out of rice. I tell you what, when you improvise long enough, you start to use everything.
I'm surprised you didn't buy an 80-pound sack of rice.
When you improvise long enough, you start to use just about everything. Just about. I'm getting there. I've used a lot of stuff up. I need to go shopping here. So thank you, everybody. Without getting into my problems, because I don't want to do that. I want to get out of here. I want to go get a job.
Yeah, well, I hope on Monday you get a call that says, "Okay, you're starting. Get your ass over here."
Come over. Can you come over and sign some paperwork? Bring your social security card, and we'll see if we can't get you working tonight. Oh, I'll be there in a few minutes.
And you've got a vehicle, right?
We have two. My wife and I have 2 vehicles. We planned for me to be able to get a job, but in planning for it, our costs stayed where they weren't supposed to.
Right.
Because my vehicle's a little iffy. So if I get a phone call during the day when she's at work, I take my truck, which it needs a little work.
Sora Luna wishes you the best of luck.
Oh, thank you, everybody. I really appreciate all the luck. I am pretty certain by the way the interview went and the way I left and the note he left me on was, I'm going to call you. Don't call me back. I'm going to get hold of you. Just relax and let me get my paperwork in first. So
right. He said he would definitely, and he's emphatic.
It wasn't I'll get hold of you when I'm done with interviews. It was I'll get hold of you when your paperwork comes in for the background check, which, because I have felonies, is going to take about a week. And I already discussed all of that with him. You know, already went over my history, my records, and all that, because this job has work for...
not suitable for Mom wishes you good luck.
Yeah.
Denny says cheers.
If there's anything that I need luck for, it's this, is that I plan to be back at work over a month ago, and my budget didn't allow for me to be out of work this long, but finding a job has been difficult. If there's anything I need luck for, it's that it's high end.
You said it was going to pay pretty well, too.
If 15 to 20 bucks an hour, he goes, what if I offered you between 15 to 20 bucks? And I said, you have yourself a damn hardworking employee. And that's what he wrote down on the top of the application, was 15 to 20. At 15, at the low end of what he was offering me, I'll be more than comfortable. At 20, I'll be ecstatic. If he decides that, you know, after the interview things went better than he thought, maybe he gives me 22, everything could be paid off.
I wouldn't know. Listen,
but I've calculated all of my math based on the minimum amount he offered me, and I'm in a good place by the end of next year. Such a good place that I could even adjust that and replace my truck after 2 months of working.
Right.
Or fix it, depending on what the cost of both is going to be.
Fix your Mustang. Or finally fix your Mustang.
I wish. I really would like to get it down to my house at this point. It's still sitting up there insured to sit there and rot.
Yeah, I mean, if you finally fix it, then you can get rid of the truck and put that money in the bank.
Oh my God, I can't drive that Mustang around all the time. I'd kill myself and have horrible insurance.
Your insurance, after you're dead, your insurance would no longer exist.
We really need to trail off towards the end. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I've got this cool intro that I like playing on the way out, and that's where we're gonna go. Thanks, everybody, again.
You guys in chat want to see this 4-hour video? I'll paste it for you if you do.
You have 20 seconds to paste away, Data. Paste.
Well, let me see if I can do that. Hold on.